KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. And brought to you by Matson and the Adahi Tanu program. Cars Plus, reminding you to put your phone down while driving. Distractions won't get you there. Heads up, Guam. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurants, always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Now on Primetime, Julia Santos was at a press conference detailing the multi-agency effort to mitigate dengue on the island. Plus, with a pair of school riots in less than a week, how does GDOE and the Guam Police Department plan to address it? Adriana Cotero has their answers. And GMH Chief Financial Officer Benita Manglonia asked to step down from her position. Nestor Lecanto has full details.
Half a day and good evening. Late this afternoon, a press conference for media was held at Guam Homeland Security Office of Civil Defense regarding the dengue response. Our Julius Santos was there and he has the latest. Jules.
Half a day, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Julius Santos with KUAM here at the press conference at Guam Homeland Security Office of Civil Defense. Generally, they wanted to give us an update, wanted to share with the community. They're doing all that they can. They've got their response plan in action. They're taking the normal precautions with the 200-meter area around the two sites known in Manilao and in Dedido. I think the biggest takeaway from this are that there's a difference, there's a big question between quarantining. Quarantining is taking individuals who do not show symptoms of dengue and isolating them in an area and waiting to see if they are showing symptoms. Whereas the government is asking individuals, if they are experiencing the symptoms of dengue, to isolate yourself. Stay at home, stay indoors, do your best to not get bitten by mosquitoes, because that brings up the second biggest point, I believe, that came from this conference. A mosquito that is carrying the virus could only have gotten it from an individual who has dengue. So the mosquitoes, it's not naturally occurring in the mosquitoes in Guam. That's one good thing. The other point to know is that the mosquito can live for up to a month. So within a 200-meter radius of where the mosquito is born, for a month, if it picks up the virus, can carry it. Second important thing is they do not pass it on to their offspring. So that's good to know. There is a way that we can contain and eliminate the dengue issue. Now, speaking to the new case that we heard about in Dedido, let's take a look with Melissa Savares. We got a chance to speak to the mayor earlier and see what her crews are doing to control and fight the bite. Dedido Mayor Melissa Savares says efforts are underway in the village of Dedido, focusing on surrounding areas of Swamp Road, where the second confirmed case of dengue fever was reported.
Right now we're removing all tires that are left around the yards in the particular area of Swamp Road. Residents who are home are assisting with bringing all those debris, tires and white goods, to the frontage of their properties. And we are removing those and taking those to recycling centers.
Services are being funded through a purchase order that is good till the end of the month. Savares adds the village has been running low on funds because they have been doing such services for several weeks now.
We're looking at additional funding from other villages that have completed their projects, and using some of the fundings overall as a mayor's council.
Savares says although she does not know who the infected individual is, she is aware that it is a male adult that was taken to the Guam Memorial Hospital ER and diagnosed there.
The communication between the governor's office, Homeland Security, Department of Public Health is that we're going to focus on this cleanup.
The mayor says typically they do a 200 square feet diameter from the affected area, but in this particular case they were advised by Public Health that they are going to do the entire Swamp Road area.
I'm concerned because, in Swamp Road in particular, because it's Chamorro Land Trust areas, you have a mixture of residential and farming. So of course in farming areas, you do have buckets of water where things, so what we've advised our staff is that if you see anything, buckets that are collecting maybe rainwater with the algae in it, just dump it.
Spraying of the area will begin Thursday, and the mayor's office is working with DPW to secure a bus that can transport residents who are home during the day while the spraying is taking place. Again, ladies and gentlemen, just as a reminder, you want to remove any potential breeding sites within your home. It doesn't matter what village you live in, anywhere where there may be standing water in a pet's water dish, in an old pot, perhaps in a gallon that's just sitting around, even a bottle cap. Something as small as a bottle cap with water in it can be a potential breeding ground for mosquitoes. And again, a reminder, the virus cannot be passed on from human to human. It's not a communicable disease. It can only be passed by a mosquito carrying the virus. All right, back to you in studio.
Thanks, Julius. You can watch our stream of the press conference on our Facebook page and also get additional prevention tips and information about dengue fever on the latest episode of the Nurse Jen Explains podcast on the KUAM Podcast Network, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Blame it on the alcohol. The Guam Department of Education saying it appears to be the center of recent riots. Adriana Cotero reports.
Looking at that, it was very disturbing to see that level where a cop car is damaged.
Using the word disturbing after witnessing what unfolded Tuesday across the school grounds of Teason High School. A riot that involved nearly 40 individuals, multiple placed into custody and several injured. Guam Department of Education Superintendent John Fernandez says through preliminary investigations, they have learned that the main issue at hand is alcohol.
Part of the information that we have was that, the student was, just really inebriated and was banging his head on the windshield, that there needed to be some immediate, intervention to keep him, from doing further damage and so forth.
In addition to that one student, several others were impaired. The riot last week at John F. Kennedy High School also stemmed from alcohol, and this has brought the Guam Education Board to step in. Tuesday night, GEB held a meeting with GDOE and have planned a work session with administrators for Friday.
The question is, are we on top of the issue? I think alcohol is going to be probably the centerpiece of our discussion.
Fernandez said there wasn't any indication that there was consumption on campus, and no information has been reported that relates the two riots. However, there is concern of this sparking a trend.
Definitely, we're concerned if there's anyone who, bad actors out there who might want to turn this into a trend and might act out at their school. So all of our administrators are on alert.
Also staying alert is our administration. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero shared her reaction to the two recent incidents.
I think it's a sad occasion on our island where there is, alcohol abuse and use in the schools. Not that they're doing it at the schools, but I believe the concern there is intoxication of those involved, and I think we need to support, and I will always support our public school system to prevent situations like that.
GDOE and the Guam Police Department spoke on prevention during KUAM's Crime Time segment this morning.
In order for a child to succeed, you got to have the balance between behavior and education. And behavior, shouldn't be taught in school. It really shouldn't. Our teachers work hard, Our teachers understand the expectation of what is required from them. It starts at home. It really does. And it may sound cliche and everything, but the beginning of success and the start of success and the success of the journey is going to start from mom and dad.
Fernandez adds that the community needs to come together to figure out what's going wrong and how to keep students on track. Otherwise,
they're going to be out of school, but they may end up in jail. They may end up, in other negative situations, and that becomes all of our discussion.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
You can also watch the full episode of Crime Time streaming now on our Facebook page. Longtime GMH Chief Financial Officer Benita Magnolia has been asked to step down. This after the hospital reportedly failed to pay millions of dollars in employee withholding taxes. Nestor Lecanto reports.
The resignation of CFO Magnolia comes after hospital administrator Lillian Posadas received notice from Rev and Tax that GMH owes some $8.8 million in withholding taxes for various pay periods in 2014, 2015, 2017, and all of 2018. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero says she spoke with Posadas about the issue.
Lillian is very aware about the seriousness of this, and she has taken it upon her administrative authority to talk to Benita, and she feels that it's something that has happened in prior administration, and she has I don't know if I think she's resigned.
Posada says Magnolia did make her aware of the taxes owed when she took over in January, but she says she didn't realize at the time the severity of the debt. Now she says the hospital faces possible liens on its bank account and receivables. Posadas is a former GMH board member and acknowledges the chronically cash-strapped hospital did face possible payless paydays in past years when only the net pay was made to employees. The governor says she's not assigning any blame. They just prefer to move on.
I'm just saying that Lillian would prefer during her administration, to work with a new slate of finance people and move forward from there.
KUAM spoke with Manglonia, who said, quote, "I don't want to make any comment right now, but my heart will always be at the hospital." For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Posada says GMH has been working on a plan to pay the taxes, such as collecting on debt owed by the Corrections Department. Meanwhile, Health Oversight Chair Senator Teresa Lahi issued a statement saying she was shocked to learn of the tax non-payment and will probe into it during a hospital oversight hearing scheduled for October 3rd. Joseph Cameron is shutting the door to his seat as a member of the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority Board of Directors following a new lawsuit filed by the agency's executive director, Ray Tapasnia. Chris Barnett has more.
Joseph Cameron is walking away from his position on the GURA board.
It's almost like you take me on a joyride and we're both enjoying this, but then we came to the final destination and I didn't want to go there.
The final destination? The District Court of Guam and a lawsuit filed by GURA Executive Director Ray Tapasnia naming board members Sabino Flores, Monica Guzman, Carl Dominguez, George Pareda, Joseph Leon Guerrero, and Joseph Cameron, who's now calling it quits.
You know, Guam is a small place. And you know, we grew up in a environment or culturally that when there's things to be discussed, you do it face to face and you talk about situations. You try to find solutions, whether it's in the family or at work, right? So none of that ever occurred.
It was in 2015 Tapasnia blew the whistle, alleging violations of HUD's Section 8 program and other federal programs involving legal counsels and the board at the time. Tapasnia was fired from the agency after reporting the alleged improprieties to the feds and the AG's office. Just recently, the U.S. Attorney's Office filed a motion to intervene in the case, but only filed suit against former legal counsel Mark Smith and another defendant named Glenn Wong. And Tapasnia's latest filing in federal court, he's suing the new board.
I was kind of confused as to why all that was going on, because if he is naming the board as defendant, but they weren't even involved in the alleged action of years ago. And I say alleged because I believe that there is a presumption of innocence at all times. Ray's saying that the law says he cannot sue a person who's no longer there, but yet he can sue a person who was never there to begin with.
In his latest court filing, Tapasnia is not only wanting to make sure Smith pays back all the federal monies he allegedly benefited from the Section 8 program, but also that he himself receives 2 times the amount of back pay that's owed to him, including back pay and compensation for special damages, including litigation and attorney fees he sustained as a result of his termination. According to Cameron, the lawsuit leaves GURA in a state of inertia.
I've never seen this in all my years of work with the government. I've never seen anything not even quite like this.
For now, it doesn't look like he'll be speaking to Tapasnia anytime soon. Cameron, however, is wishing the best for GURA and its mission to help the disadvantaged and poor of Guam. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Stay tuned. We're back with more news after the break.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Matson is in this community. We've been in this community for decades. We're gonna be in this community for decades to come. Things will get busy, things will get quiet, but we're gonna be here. We're your hometown carrier. And that matters to us.
Reliability is the core of our business. We take pride in ensuring that we arrive in Guam on time as scheduled.
It's our local employees who understand the market, who understand the business, and provide that hard work for you each and every day.
When we hold ourselves to high standards, our customers also hold us to high standards. We establish good business relationships that turn into friendships. That's why it's so important to be here and be trusted by your customers. We want you to trust Matson like your friend, like your family.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
Yo, Jay, you sure you want to be washing your car right now, man?
Not now, Kev. I'm watching Betsy. And she has to be spotless, bro.
Clouds are coming in fast.
It looks fine to me. Look again. It looks fine, Kevin. It looks fine.
You know what makes more sense than Guam's weather? Using your Bank of Guam credit card at any Shell station to save 6% on gas purchases. Call, click, or visit for more details. Make more sense. Bank of Guam, the People's Bank. Member FDIC.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Hafide and welcome back. On September 14th, a woman told police she was sexually assaulted by 40-year-old Pan Kim, also known as Mike Kim. The woman alleges that on September 12th, Kim was at her home and began to touch her. At first, she was afraid to resist, but told him to stop after he began groping her, quote, hard, causing her pain. Kim instead continued to sexually assault her. He allegedly admitted to police he touched the victim, sexually assaulting her, and that he did not stop until the third time she told him to stop. He was charged with third-degree criminal sexual conduct as a second-degree felony, assault with intent to commit criminal sexual conduct as a third-degree felony, and 2 counts of fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct as a misdemeanor. Police arrested 23-year-old Victoria Elaine Antipuesto for drug possession and for allegedly assaulting a man known to her. Police responded to a disturbance complaint in Demuning on September 16th, where they met with the victim. He told police he found a resealable bag with suspected ice and 3 glass pipes with residue inside Antipuesto's bag. He said he confronted the woman who is pregnant. The man alleges Antipuesto got angry and began to break and throw items at him, pull his hair and scratch him. That according to court documents. When officers interviewed Antipuesto, she allegedly admitted the contents inside the resealable bag as meth, that it was hers, and that she was using meth. She was charged with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance as a third-degree felony and family violence as a misdemeanor. Health Chair Senator Therese Terlahi will hold the first of 3 informational hearings on the island's Medical Malpractice Mandatory Arbitration Act on Thursday. While no bill amending the existing law has been introduced, Terlahi tells us the hearings will allow senators to hear suggestions and ask questions. Terlahi says the cost of mandatory arbitration has been raised as an issue and that it's something she will be looking into during these hearings.
That's really the barrier that's been put on the table right now, is this cost to get into arbitration, because it's a service that you have to pay for. There are cheaper arbitrators, there are waivers on the arbitration costs, so I'm hoping those will be laid out on the table for everyone to understand.
Terlahi says doctors are not necessarily opposed to amending the malpractice laws, but there are concerns about whether amending the law will lead to trouble recruiting physicians.
They thought it would be more attractive, and they want to ensure that people are not afraid of practicing on Guam. I think the doctors in general, they're very concerned about the standard of care here on Guam also, so they are very open to exposing any breaches of that standard of care and finding ways to ensure, if we need to, where we need to plug the gaps.
The AG's office has been invited to attend, which will also feature a history of relevant past cases involving mandatory malpractice arbitration. The hearing starts tomorrow, 2 o'clock at the Guam Congress Hall. The wait is almost over. Aragata Mayor June Bloss tells KUAM News a newly built traffic signal light at the Purple Heart Memorial Highway and Totu Cañada Loop Road has been covered up with trash bags months after completion. Mayor Bloss explains the need for this light.
There's a lot of accidents that happen there even daily, and also the bus cannot get into the schools of Carbolito and Salisante because they're not allowing them to get in. And so, we felt that that is one of the most important places that we need to install a traffic light.
KUAM has received calls from residents asking when the light will be fully operational. Mayor Bloss says the light is currently being calibrated by Public Works, and 2 project subcontractors, so will run smoothly in conjunction with other signal lights along Route 8. She adds other calibration. The light will be run on blink mode to get drivers used to the signal light. The light will eventually be turned on for good soon. The light serves as a heavy traffic area that leads to 2 schools. Dave Delgado is back, thank goodness, with sports. Keep it here.
Agent Alpha.
What's that? An Alpha Insurance customer needs a claim settled immediately? I'm on it.
Agent Alpha.
In the event of an accident, theft, or breakdown, each